Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has suggested that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his policies, which he views as unfavourable to the public, might undermine his chances of re-election in 2027. And the governor criticized the Tinubu-led All Progressive Congress administration, claiming it has been implementing policies detrimental to the welfare of the masses. Press previously reported that the governor's disappointment with President Tinubu's nationwide address following the End Bad Governance protest, noting that the address was made without consulting state governors. Governor Mohammed stated that the president's speech failed to address the country's current realities, highlighting a significant disconnect between the government and the citizens. Calling back to the last points you are hitting on, is Bala Mohammed speaking on behalf of PDP or the opposition, or he is speaking on behalf of the proletariat?
Even when I really is disappointed with PDP,
is Bola Tinubu, is all his policies, are they all impotent? Are all his policies?
No, if they are not, there won't be any reason in the first place.
Because Bola Tinubu claims that we are paying servicing of debts with 93% of our GDP. But now that it has fallen back to 63%. So do you think that he has made progress?
That's a political statement. If it has, the only evidence we can hold on to, let it reflect on the lives of Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians.
Would it be able to reflect?
Look at the fleet.
He's barely a year in office.
Look at the fleet of cars. Is that the sense of a man who will go and renovate VP's residence with 21 billion and turn a blind eye to the very extravagant, luxurious
the VP's residence had been abandoned for a long period of time.
Talking of presidential fleet, was it not just days ago? Was it Portugal, one of these countries? The president had to ride his bike home, his bicycle home. Are you saying that Nigeria is far richer than these countries? See, it's about culture, it's about perspective, it's about empathy.
How do you rate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's first year in office?
See, already what is going on in the country, there is, I frequent the market a lot. That's how you know. See, there is a reign of impunity. There is inability to listen. He has never conducted any town hall meeting. Bush had crisis before he handed to Obama to invade Iraq and all that. At some point he had town hall meetings. 70% of the audience were made of students. He will take questions, provide answers, they will repeat the question. Bush will patiently stand and continue providing answers. That is the kind of culture. You see, you don't think for us. We should be the people should be thinking for you. As we speak now, can he refer to his economic team? It was the same great fellow who reminded them at the point they biting at the peak of this uncontrolled price inflation and all that. He now said, look, there's something called Price Control Act. It was seconds after Fall and I made that revelation, they already said they put together a team. Till date, Ray, have you got any report from the team?
No, sir.
You're asking me the policy so far. Subsidy is gone. Who is that responsible leader who understands the Nigerian economic crisis that will start with the negative consequence, other than, first of all, taking proactive measures that will caution in the event there are negative consequences? You did not. First, your president said, this thing is going to last, is what about. So, even if you're not an economist, elementary knowledge, the volume that was available was reasonable, had benefited, subsidy paid on it. But he had not stepped down the podium, fuel the gas stations, adjusted their meters. Are they not supposed to be punished for that? Melekara is still sitting down there with all the atrocities surrounding him. Look at some serious societies that serious people and serious government, they've not done 1 inch of what Melekara had done. They excused themselves from the office. They were relieved. But he has baggages hanging around him. To the extent of, from when he came, had a world press conference, people brought in a fear from Belgium or wherever, and admitted that the Nigerian refineries don't refine even a liter. That is enough to go back to his home and enjoy his family. But he's still sitting down there, showing that we mean nothing. We are a conquered people.
Sir, is 1 year enough for analysis to be made?
Because before you have been part of your party, remember last edition, I keep reminding you the importance of ideology. We cannot divorce his participation under the President Buhari. There's something called handover notes. There's something called taking inventories. If you're able to take inventories, you know the right cause to strike. Here, he just came like, the only thing you want to achieve, let it be on record, that was once Nigerian president. Is that a policy? What is important, that, like, look at the June 12 speech. I keep reminding those who care to listen. Go back and read that. In one of the particular was, I said, oh, finally, the truth is out. He said, there's this, he used in qualifying as well, the economic imbalance in the country, owing to, that is, how would you be depending on crude oil from one section of the country? Look at even this unfounded speech in response to the speech. This. See, I felt very offended when he referred to only crude oil. Really? I don't know. The problem with even we as the people, I don't know what has gone wrong. We don't tend to have this ability to discern, to understand that these things, you don't hear it in other societies. That's economic injustice of the highest order. How can they put 36 states where sufficient evidence of diamond in Adamawa, gold in Niger, Nasarawa, a prayer to show you that there is no deliberate and people-oriented economic policy. Otherwise, by this time, the President Tinubu will not be telling us only on an international, because an international speech, that we have crude oil. That's an insult in the first place. And unfortunately, I heard somebody here who is neither speaks from two sides to say that the protest should not come to Niger Delta. And here the president making that kind of paradoxical statement. Is it fair if we subject that to the realm of equity, justice, and fairness? Is that statement fair? How can for these long years, let's forgive the military years, but look at things under this way, how can you continue to suffocate one commodity from one section and you expect to have a balance? Like I told you, this division with labor is an aberration. We are the only federation on the surface of the earth where you think that the component state, it's not true that workers' salary will be at, it's not correct. Everybody develops at your pace. Yes, you as a value, but don't suppress the fact that the component states don't have what it takes to even pay higher than your proposal. Yes, that's what happens in other federation. And your tax system, right now, it's difficult to separate federal tax from state tax and even LGA tax. It's difficult. But that's what happens in other democracies, other constitutional democracies. These are policies that eases business. So I don't want to come and invest, that, just like you have federal police, state police. These things are the things, because you've been a champion of restructuring. I keep telling people another phrase or expression for that word restructuring is abolish or dismantle all federal laws that have dismantled the component states or render them incapacitated. But this time you use the phrase restructuring, a lot of people get twisted. It's just another phrase, another English for change all the bad, unjust federal laws. A clear example is Section 8 Interpretation Act that continues to say that the federal government oversees mineral resources. That's injustice. So he can't pretend. One is on record that you used to be a champion of restructuring.
Yes.
You champion constitutional democracy. So your background is sufficient not to make us feel your question is not to 1 year. In fact, that's the more reason we should take benefit of your person, because if you are coming from a strange background, we'll say otherwise. But it's on record. We know you. It shows that you've spent years evaluating and understand that if Nigeria continues it's just like what the Zekome pointed out in one of the functions in marking democracy. He said Nigeria is stand on a tripod, and we know that anything that is a tripod lacks balance. It's all right. I have been saying it in my little way. That day I got my answer. Oh, hallelujah. So this thing is a fact. So these are the things a president with vision of Nigeria must start with. Not in an unplanned manner, just take the podium to say subsidy is gone. Now come to think of it, some of us championed the modular refinery. It needed just 12 months to create even a minimum of 1,000 to 5,000 barrels a day. What does it take? At the point, Venezuela used to run over 20 public refineries. So you must understand when you talk about policy, any administration that don't believe in transparency, accountability, the rule of law. Look at the way judiciary is being trained. In fact, thanks to the protest, maybe you've noticed, you're in the media. Have you noticed that in the last time, all these political flying of court orders have been silenced?
Exactly,
so,
sir.
Sometimes exactly, I said it at my host. I said, you've noticed, so, like the Chinese will say that in every trouble comes a new opportunity. The Chinese have an adage like that. But are you not surprised? Telling you that they are all scared. So, meaning that some of these things they were doing, they did it deliberately to burn the nation. So, a president that wants us to take him seriously, people who you place as your subordinates to take care of certain sectors on behalf of Nigerians, when they clearly show that they lack the courage and character to perform, you don't continue with them and expect us when we get so provoked and you just, all you can do is to come and your aides tell you to explain it away. Let me tell you something. Do you know part of why Nigerian presidents will not want to resign? The aides, because they've made public office the only means of industry. So even if the president on his own believes that it is socially right, to resign, to respect that I have failed. Say, no, Oga no do now. I will go. Madam go work.
Okay.
And is that what you sacrifice the rest of us? So on that value, you sacrifice the rest of us. The rest of us should continue to suffer. Now, do you not look at he doubles the use of petroleum? Right now, I've noticed, if you go to the village and we drive around, I don't know, those days, this arithmetic exercise, say 1 millimeter make 1 day. We used to sing it like exactly. My wife, we were laughing the other day. I was trying to record. Do you know, go to some of these private filling stations now? That thing will be reading at 60 something, it changed to 1 liter. So I'm thinking I should consult mathematicians to come and explain.
So there's a